Hey y'all, what's up? It's Crybaby here, and we're on Popparotz Tv, and I got who in the building?
Lil MC.
Okay. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Lil MC today.
Let's do it.
So as we were talking, like before cameras were on or whatever, like I was just kind of getting to know you, and I kind of like really rock with her, guys. So before we started, and we're gonna say it again at the end, but let them know where they could find you on everywhere.
Okay, everywhere. So on Instagram, lilmc.music, because some whack person named Lil MC already took that name. But someday I will fight to the death for that username. You can also find me on YouTube under LIL space MC, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, all the DSPs. TikTok, every 6 months if I put a video on there, you can find me lilmc.music.
Okay, follow her on everything, period. So let's get into it. So I really wanted to ask, right? So we already got into where you're from or whatever. If they want to know, they can like search you up and do their own research. But we got into your background, and listening to your music, it's like a really Latin like swag, but you do not sound like any Latin artist out right now.
No.
Can you please tell me like your inspiration behind your flows, behind your sound, like what makes Lil MC, like who, what, when, where, all that, like what makes you, you know?
I mean, I'm really excited to be in New York because all of my inspirations are New York rappers.
Okay.
Besides Tupac, but Biggie, Big L, Big Pun, Lauryn Hill, Lil Kim was like my hero, still is. So that's what I was listening to when I was first rapping.
Okay.
Also, I grew up listening to a lot of punk music. I'm in a punk rap reggae metal doom band also called Popparotz. So
Oh, wow.
you know, Nirvana, Pink Floyd, Rage Against the Machine, really like that type of music also inspired a lot of what I do.
That's
and
amazing.
even though my dad is from Venezuela, he never taught me Spanish growing up because, you know, that's a whole nother story. So
Oh, girl.
I actually learned Spanish living in Spain, but I didn't live
wow.
in the, you know, most people, they go to Spain and they go and move to Madrid or Barcelona.
Right.
I chose Bilbao because I didn't want to go to a spot that was going to be, you know, super Americanized with
You
tons
got a
of
deep
tourists.
cut in there. You wanted to be like
Yeah,
cultured.
but Bilbao is Basque country, so actually their native language is Basque, which is
Okay.
completely different from Spanish. They also speak Spanish, but so yeah, just the way that I developed and started speaking Spanish and
It's
incorporating
different.
it into my music is like Basque Spanish, which is super weird. And
Yeah,
random.
no, it's not weird at all. Like I don't want you to say weird and use that term because let me
Unique.
tell you, girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love weird. Weird to me is like the
Yeah.
most beautiful thing on earth. Yeah.
Weird is beautiful.
great, yeah.
But like beside like weird, I like beautiful first. You know what I mean? Because I was hearing it and I'm like, yo, like I understand her. You know, because I'm Hispanic, but I understood you, but I didn't understand where you were from. I'm like, yo, where is this? Like where? Like how did she? You know, and like that sound is so original, and like people even you don't find like. I wouldn't say like it's Americanized because it's not, but like because you live out here, you have that like American swagger to it. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
that's
for
super
sure.
dope. That's
It's
super
different
dope.
for sure.
Yeah, that's super dope. So those people inspired you. What inspired you to start making music? Like what pushed you to actually kind of get it started?
Yeah, for sure. I started making music ever since I was young, like 5 or 6 years old. I was writing songs. I've just been very obsessed with anything artistic. I'd write musicals. I'd play around on the piano. I played clarinet. Then I got classically trained in piano. I started playing the drums when I was in middle school.
Okay.
But it wasn't until high school that I started rapping. So I've always been musical, and I didn't come from a musical family. No one in my family does music or plays music. None of my friends were really musical like me. It was just something inherent. Like I was just very obsessed with it.
That's super cool. That's super inspiring. One, super cool. Second, and like, I don't know, like, yeah, inspiring. Heavy on the inspiring because that's cool as hell. She said 5 years old. Like, that's her whole life. I mean, coming from like someone coming from like a similar kind of like upbringing, like I kind of just loved and obsessed about music. I felt like you know when you're young and you're like, I'm gonna be a star, like.
That was me, yo.
Yeah, and look, and she's a freaking star, like for real. So like moving more on towards that, like you mentioned moving around. So did you move around a lot, like coming up as an artist, like finding yourself?
Yeah, I moved a lot. I've lived in all different parts of the Bay Area. I lived in Santa Cruz for a little bit too. Now I'm in Alameda, which is like Oakland Island is what I call it. It's pretty much just like one bridge right away from Oakland. But I lived in Spain a little bit. But I do a lot of traveling just for music stuff, for education work,
Okay.
for fun. I don't really ever take vacations. So even though it's for fun, I'm always trying to either like do some sort of studio session,
Something.
Performances,
Working wherever you go.
Yeah, exactly.
As you
I don't even know how to
should.
take a vacation.
No.
That's probably why.
Because
Amazing, yeah.
there's no vacation.
There's really not.
no vacation for artists. Let me tell you,
COVID
artists.
was the vacation, right?
Yeah, and not even because like being an artist is like your vacation is art. You know what I'm saying? Your vacation is inspiration. On your vacation, you're writing a song, and although that's work, work is fun and work is art. You know what I'm saying? So like in any form of that, sometimes it gets exhausting.
It really does. No, sometimes I'm just like, I don't even want to listen to music. I've been obsessing over it too much. Like I just need to be in silence.
But sometimes it feels really good to just release.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
hey, it goes either way. Like, it goes really both ways. So, I would ask next, what actually, like, which place would you say inspired you the most from where you've been in the last, I would say, 5 years? Let's choose that year.
Oof. I mean, being in Spain really inspired me just because when I went out there, like I could barely speak Spanish. And so I really just had to completely immerse myself in this culture. And they speak like, gracias. You know, it's like a completely different Spanish than I was like hearing my whole life. It just inspired me to like, number one, just put myself out there completely and literally not give a fuck. Like I would do performances out there. I would do rap battles out there. And a lot of times I would do English and like try to incorporate some Spanish. I'd even try to incorporate some Basque. And so that just inspired me to, I mean, when you have that language barrier and you're in some place by yourself where you don't know anybody, like I had my son come out and live there with me half the time too. It just makes you feel like there's nothing that can prevent me from doing anything. Like there's no place that I wouldn't go necessarily except for maybe like a war zone or something. But there's no place I'd just be like, no, I'm too scared to go by myself because I just learned how to really just, I sat next to people at bars and was like, tried to talk to them in Spanish. Then they just talked to me and I'm like, whoa, I can't understand.
I don't understand, man.
And then you learn, you know, and then you
after
build with people and you find the community everywhere you go. And that's what I've really learned is that I can like legit go any space and find the hip hop community.
Literally. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful, actually. Kind of like New York City. You kind of find music every little nick and cranny here in the city. Before the interview, actually, I was asking you, like, what do you like, you know, do you like it and how are you liking it? Before we get into how you like and what you like about New York City, let them know why you're here.
Oh, yeah. I love New York City first and foremost, but I'm here. I'm going to be performing at a 50th hip hop anniversary show next Thursday. And I'm really excited because the headliner is Raw Digga. So,
if you know, you know.
An incredible female MC, Rusty Jux, Pace One, who I've actually been listening to for years. Like him and Mr. Green did a bunch of videos together, and I used to listen to those when I was like first starting to rap. So that's
like
crazy.
A full circle moment.
Yeah, like
that's beautiful.
Maybe he didn't blow up the way a lot of other artists did, but you know, for me, it's like that's
right.
Yeah,
that's really beautiful and wholesome, actually, to think about. It's like, oh my God, like I've been listening to you for forever, man. Now I'm performing next to you.
And he was cool.
Like,
he hit me back too and was like, that's, you know, it's dope when people are so relatable and like down to earth like that. Like there's been other artists where I reach out to and they're just like crickets. I'm like, fine.
Whatever.
Still love you, but
no,
fuck you a little bit.
No, yeah. It does get a little sour, but when you do have that inspiration, or when somebody does inspire you and they give you like your same kind of flowers back, like good job, like I see you doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? It feels like wow. Like I said, a full circle moment, really wholesome. That's really awesome. So let's get into the nicks and crannies about New York City.
Okay.
Do you like it here for real?
No, I love it. I love it so much. I love that people are just hella direct. It also reminds me of people in Bilbao. Like it takes them so long to actually fuck with you. Like in the Bay Area, I love the Bay Area too, but it's kind of like the complete opposite in a way that people are very opening and accepting and like love and blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of just more like a person like, don't lie to my face. If you don't fuck with me, just fucking tell me and it's okay. I'll go this way, you go that way.
That's
if I annoy you
York.
or whatever. Or I prefer someone where you have to kind of work for their
right attention, energy, kind of like mysterious kind of vibe. Like, let me crack this shell open.
And
really
there's
quickly.
just like a quality control music wise and hip hop wise. And for me, like the type of hip hop music that I like has always been lyric based. And I'm a producer also. And so like the type of beats that I really like are, I mean, now I'm making a lot of weird like drill, Bay Area fused beats.
That's
but
cool.
The beats I used to start with were all boom bap, sample based, melodic, break beats, those types of things. And so just the combination of people out here being heavy lyrically, but it's not like they don't have cadence. Like I love the cadences out here. It's just the beats are a little slower. Like at least the type of like authentic like 90s golden era hip hop that I like is like you can actually hear the bars and the setups and like, you know, you see what they're doing with the bars. And
Right.
It's not just like basic commercial music. Not that there isn't that, because I hear Ice Spice on the radio every 10 seconds and it kind of makes me lose my mind. But
honestly, yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I completely agree. Need I say more? You know what I mean? As far as music, do you still do music in English as well as in Spanish?
Yeah, definitely. I've been messing around with this new record I'm about to drop. That's like a favela funk record, which favela originates, you know.
New?
Yeah, it's like Brazilian and it's Portuguese, but I did it in Spanish. But most of the times my records are both English and Spanish. Sometimes I'll just do a little bit of Spanglish. Sometimes I'll do whole verses in Spanish. But yeah, I do both because at the end of the day, like I started rapping in English.
Right. Like so always going to keep that root.
And I need people to know what the fuck I'm saying too.
I'ma need a bag, not a cosign. Need a couple thou just to get me at the house. I've been going up like the coke price. So what you talking about? I don't do this for the cloud. This my life, so don't negotiate my price. This not hype, so don't negotiate my price. I need a bag, not a cosign. I ain't a morning person, what I look like Ebro. Can't get me out the bed without a coffee and a C-note. Rappers watch my moves, pit boss in casinos. Nikki calling you her sons, but I thank God you ain't my e-ho. Pajarito, you a bird, bitch, and I don't fuck with seagulls. Y'all need to tighten up, yo, I could lead you in some Kegels. Bitch, I study bars like a fucking paralegal. While these rappers posing child, I might just put you in the fetal. I'm nastier than Rico, I ain't talking about a Beatle. Michael Loco, Ana Yoko, no te toca, papi's pito. Pinche puta tryna steal the sauce, no roba mi sofrito. You can't colonize our spices if you still a racist gringo. Yo, escucho caliuches while I'm cruising El Camino. It's love over money, but it's pesos over pitos. Would rather stroke a cacti before I ever stroke your ego. Got my eyes on Benny Blancos, I won't go out like Carlito. Lead that team like Ben Rodrigo. Get these putos off my sandlot. Man, stop. Built like Bill the Butcher, won't surrender cause I can't stop. Till they recognize I run the city, run it up. You can't get me out the house until you pay a couple bucks, bitch. I'ma need a bag, not a cosign. Gon' need a couple thou just to get me out the house, bitch. I've been going up like the coke price. So what you talking about? I don't do this for the cloud. This my life, so don't negotiate my price. This not hype, so don't negotiate my